This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
I'm Alex, and this is the Ramble. We go until midnight tonight from New York, New York. The city so nice, they named it twice.
You're not going to wear the hat today, huh?
No, it's 2 different episodes.
That's Stephen Kravitz, ladies and gentlemen. Well, maybe I should change my shirt.
Yeah, me too, right?
Maybe I should change my hair.
Well, no, I don't think you can do that.
We do 2 of these at a time, and I swore between them that I was going to run out and get my soda, which I think I left in the other room. But I'll try and keep myself hydrated with coffee. Yeah, that's a great hydrator.
I don't think coffee hydrates at all, does it?
Coffee dehydrates you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's what I've been told. I don't know. You know what?
Wait a minute, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What I have to say would take longer for us to get through what you were going to say. What we going?
No, I was going to say, is alcohol a hydrator or a dehydrator?
I don't know. Do you know I've never been a drinker?
No, me neither. Not really.
Yeah, and you know why? We're Jewish.
Right.
Jewish men, by and large, are not alcoholics. For some reason, like I never liked booze. Never. And
Well, you know why that is, Alex?
What?
It's because when's the first time a Jewish man drinks?
When his wife divorces him?
No, at his brisk.
At his bris. Oh yes.
He loses a little piece, and he figures every time he gets drunk after that, he's going to lose another little piece.
Let's explain a bris to the goyim out there who are watching right now. A bris is when
A moil.
A guy named called a moil, comes along. He's usually a rabbi.
Right.
And he comes with a special, I think it's a religiously surgical knife.
Something like that.
And he then cuts off the tip of the young male boy's penis, who's just been born. Right? The foreskin. And that's why we are all circumcised, Jewish men.
Right.
But
that's the first time a Jewish man gets drunk, because they put wine on wine on a cloth and they put it in the baby's mouth.
They get the kid real loaded, and then they do this.
Right.
And the kid still feels it.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, you remember David Feldman?
Sure.
David's had a son, and the son had to have a circumcision. So they had a bris. That's what they call the circumcision. Goyim. They call it a bris. And
right, it's done within 8 days. 8 days of the birth.
Yeah. And so we're over at his place. His, mother is there, his father is there, all their friends are around them, and he asked me to be part of it. And my job was, what happens is you have several parts of the bris. Number one, the 2 most important parts are the grandmother holds the baby while the moil lops off the tip of his penis, right?
Right.
But before that, there is a ritual of reading a passage from a book that you like.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's part of the ritual. It's supposed to be something that is apropos of the situation.
Right.
And it is a favorite of the fathers. All right? And so what he had me do was read the first page of Moby Dick. And that's what I did at this bris. And then they say, and now we'll do the cutting, and they do the cutting, and the baby is like screaming. I mean, none of us remember our bris.
No.
I mean, do you remember it?
No, I was 8 days old.
Yeah, it must be the most horrid thing that ever happened to you. I mean, there's no anesthetic. they load you up with booze. That's it, you know.
They dip wine and a towel in wine, and they put it in the baby's mouth.
That's right. That's right. So that was the bris that I was a integral part of by reading from Moby Dick. But I thought that was inspired. And then the kid grew up, and the kid grew up, I said, I was there the day they cut off the tip of your penis. He never was impressed by that fact.
No, I bet not. I bet not.
But it's funny, it's funny that we don't remember something like that because it happened, I don't know, how far back can you remember?
I can remember Tuesday.
No. I'm talking about when you were a kid. I mean, you grew up, you were born, and then you grew. And then at a certain point, you started remembering stuff. Right?
I can remember kindergarten.
Okay, I think I can go back further than that. But it was a traumatic event. We were at the Russian River, and I don't know, somehow I went too close to the water or something, and I got in the water and I started drowning. And they pulled me out, and they did whatever they did, and I was fine.
Right.
I remember that incident.
Really?
Yeah, and I think I was maybe 4. But, at what point do you start remembering your life? How far back can you go to say, well, I remember that?
I remember my older brother pushing me down a flight of stairs when I was like 3.
Okay, see? It has to be something like that. It has to be like my drowning and you're being thrown down the stairs.
Right.
Why'd your brother throw you down the stairs? Because he was just a mean kid?
Because I was his little brother.
Oh, I see. Okay, is that what big brothers do?
Yeah.
Did he have a reason for throwing you down the stairs?
No.
Like he didn't want a little brother?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
I was getting too much attention.
Oh, really? Were there were just 2 of you, or was there a sister too?
3.
A sister.
3 of us.
And are you still in contact with each other?
Yeah, we had breakfast together just last weekend.
Wow, that's nice.
That is nice.
Because a lot of times you hear about brothers and sisters, at least when you got 3 of them, at least one's not getting along with the rest of them, or there's some,
right.
Animosity. Did you ever have a period of animosity that went on, or did you?
With the 3 of us?
Yeah.
No.
That's very good. Why do you think that is?
I don't know. I can't tell you. Maybe because they're both really good guys.
Really? How about the sister?
No sisters.
Oh, I thought you said you had a sister. Oh.
No, I have an older brother and a younger brother.
Oh, okay. And so you're the middle brother.
That's right.
And were you the little baby always, or no?
No. My older brother, he was the golden child because my parents lost 2 before he was born.
Oh, okay.
So he was the golden child.
All right.
Right?
Yeah.
I came 15 months later, and then my younger brother came 3 years later, and he was the baby.
Yeah.
So there was the golden child, there was the baby, and then there was me.
So you never felt special?
No.
Only for a short time?
Only for a short time. And that got me pushed down a flight of stairs.
And you get pushed down a flight of stairs, yeah. Wow. I never had any brothers or sisters.
Really?
Yeah. I have no idea, I do know my mother did get pregnant, and then she miscarried. And that was me. And then, no, she miscarried, and so I never wound up having a little brother or sister. And I was just as happy, because by that time I was like, where were we living? On Telegraph Hill. I was maybe 8 years old, 9 years old.
Right.
And I got everything. When it was Christmas time, I got all the gifts. When it was my birthday, which was a week earlier, I got all the gifts. I got all the attention.
Right.
Now I'm going to give that up for somebody I'm going to have to throw down a flight of stairs. But does your brother remember throwing you down a flight of stairs?
Yes.
He does remember it.
Yes.
Does he remember it with great guilt?
No.
Okay, well, there's your answer, Mr. Kravitz.
Right.
Yeah. And now you're living where you grew up.
Right, back in Worcester.
In Worcester, yeah. Why did you go back there? Was there a reason? I mean,
Family.
Okay.
To be near family.
Okay. Because I went back to San Francisco because I was offered a job there, and I always wanted to work San Francisco because that was my hometown.
Right.
But I
Right.
never worked my hometown till I was turning 40. I always wanted to go back home, but I never thought of San. You grow up somewhere and you don't appreciate it really.
Right.
And I would go across the Golden Gate Bridge. I think I've been across the Golden Gate Bridge by automobile at least 2,000 times in my lifetime. I used to go to school in San Francisco, so from Marin County, so I'd go over that bridge and then back over it again 10 times a week.
How much was the toll?
When I first started driving, I think it was both ways. You had to pay both ways for a short time. It was something like 25 cents. You know what I think it is now? It's somewhere like $10 or something.
That's what I was going to say, around $10.
Yeah, to go across the same bridge.
Right. But you only pay one way.
You only pay one way now. Yeah.
Right?
Before you, you paid both ways before. When you were going, you paid. When you're coming back, you went through the toll station and gave them another 25 cents.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Now you don't pay to leave the city, you only pay to get into the city.
And I don't think you even pay anymore. I think everybody has those little things they put up on their windows.
Right, the transponders.
Yeah. I was one of the first people to get one of those transponders.
Really?
I loved it. Hey, I'm going to go flying through this toll plaza. Bye. See you later, suckers.
Right.
And they always had one little lane for people who had the transponders. So, just traffic kept
Well, now,
moving.
like the Mass Pike here, there's no toll booths anymore. So I don't have a transponder, so when I go on the Mass Pike, there I get a bill from the state for like the amount. That's the amount of the toll. They do it by license plate.
And then they mail you?
They mail you like a summons.
Oh, I see. Like you broke the law.
No, like a ticket. Not like you broke the law. Like you owe so much for the fare.
Well, but here's the thing I don't get. Okay, what's the fare on Mass Turnpike? I don't know.
It depends on how many exits you go.
Okay, yes, I remember that about turnpikes. Okay, so let's say you go to the $5 exit, just
Right.
for grins. So now they're sending you a bill. They have to process that. They have to send it through the mail, and they're still
Right.
going to get the $5, right?
Right.
Do they
right.
charge you a fine for it at all? No.
No.
So they're going to all that trouble. They should at least charge you 25 cents more for the postage.
Well, what about the residual check I get for like 13 cents? They got to go through all this stuff, they got to go through all the taxes on it. They got to mail it out to me. It's just ridiculous.
You say you've gotten residual checks for 13 cents.
Yes.
Okay. Was it literally 13 cents?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so you got 13 cents.
That's after taxes.
That's after taxes. What taxes was 2 cents, right?
Probably something like that.
Yeah, but 13 cents. My question now is this. How low does that check have to be for you not to cash it? Did you cash those $13 checks?
No, I have them in the car.
Really? How many are there?
I think I have like 5 of them.
Oh God, you're only up to about 65 cents.
That's right.
Oh boy.
So I'd spend more money in gas going to the bank than I would, depositing the checks.
Yeah. See, residuals, folks, is a great thing because it's. Imagine you go to your mailbox where usually all your bills come, saying
Right.
you owe money, and all of a sudden you get this check in the mail from your union, and it's for you because it's money they're paying you, and that's
I mean, it can be a couple of dollars.
That's real pleasant. I mean, every now and then, Gary, my business manager, says, "Well, you got another $5 from Bill Maher," you know.
Well, nothing wrong with that.
And there was something else that I did. Oh yeah, remember Comedy Tonight?
Yes.
This was a show I did in San Francisco. I was the host of it for 5 seasons, I think. They eventually they would sell it someplace else, and all of a sudden I get a check for Comedy Tonight. And the residuals I got on Comedy Tonight amounted, I only made about $150 an episode doing that show. It was PBS, the Roger Corman of television.
Right, of television.
And I got paid $150 an episode. But by the time I was through with all the residuals, I had made off of just like a single episode something like $1,000.
Sure.
You know, so
that's like the milk commercial I did. It was filmed locally for a single market, and then as it branched out to other markets, I would get more checks. I made like, I'd say around $1,000 for the shoot.
Yeah.
But all told, after it ran for all that time in all those different markets, I made probably 6 figures.
Really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
For that one commercial.
Well, I don't know what it's like today, but in the old days with commercials, you wanted to get one.
Right.
It was a television commercial. Because here's how they paid folks. Let's say you did it and you got paid $300 to do the commercial. Let's just say that.
To shoot it.
To shoot it. Then when it played on television, the first time it played, you got another $300.
Right.
And I think you kept getting $300 every time it was played.
Every time I went to another market, too.
Yeah, well, but if it was a national spot, every time it was played, you get another $300.
Right. Your job was going to the mailbox.
Yeah. And after a while, you've just made $30,000 off a commercial you did that took you, 3 hours to do.
Right, an afternoon.
And also for voice commercials as well. You want that because that's good money too. And it paid the same way. The residuals were very high on this stuff.
Right.
Now after the first 13 weeks, it's then cut down by a certain percentage. And then another 13 weeks less than that, Now a lot of guys will do a commercial, it plays for 13 weeks, then it's over with. Then it sits in the can and they go, that was a pretty good commercial. Let's start running it again.
Well, no, if they're going to run it again, they pay you while it's not running.
They have to pay you while it's not running?
While it's not running, if they're going to run it again.
Oh, so they're probably going to, but they're not paying you the same amount they paid you the first time, are they?
I don't recall. But I know they have to pay you while it's not running if they plan on running it again. Because if they don't pay you, and then they run it again, they have to pay all the original fees.
No, I know
the production costs and everything.
I know there are people out there right now who are going, we really don't give a good goddamn because these two people are making money for not doing anything. All right? But the fact is that Steve gets a check. Let's say he makes did you say 6 figures on that one commercial that just kept running and running and running?
Right.
He made 6 figures. That might be because he's an actor, the last job he ever has.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
So now it doesn't look so good, does it?
Oh, it doesn't.
I know that, I don't know what I'm getting residuals. I get a pension check from the union for about $900 a month. And I can't remember what I did that got me that $900.
That's what I get. I get about $960.
Really? Really? Well, you did a lot. You did movies.
Right.
You
did TV.
Did TV, did commercials, and so on. I was only, the thing is, this is SAG-AFTRA, and I was only working SAG-AFTRA jobs for a short time because when I got outside of New York, the radio stations were in AFTRA. They
weren't union.
They weren't union, and it wasn't that I was scabbing because they had gone through the process of trying to unionize, and the people who worked there turned it down. They didn't want to go with the union. So when I was at Live 105 in San Francisco, there was no union there. I kept
is that right?
Yeah, I kept my union membership.
Right.
And also I had a company, So I made it a signatory to the union. And I pay pension and welfare to a lot of people who would work on stuff for me that had to be done.
Right.
You know, but there's a whole story behind that one too, which I won't get into. But I was using their health plan because I was signed to my company. This is all.
Oh, I get you.
This, yeah, and finally they said, "Oh well, you can't get our health insurance." And I said, "Why?" Well, because you're only doing this as a ruse to try and get it. And we went, "No, I wanted my company to be a signatory to the union because I believe in the union, and I want to be able to pay pension and welfare not only to me, but also to anybody who works for me."
Right.
And they went, "We're not going to accept that." And they completely did away with my insurance and the stuff to my pension plan from that. Okay. While still keeping the money.
Of course.
They never said, and by the way, here's a check for the money you paid us because after all, we're not covering you.
Right.
You go, well, that's not fair. But my union, I've always had a lot of arguments with my union. One time years ago, they decided they were going to raise the union dues by a couple of dollars a month, or a quarter or something. I can't remember. But they held this big meeting here in New York, and on the agenda was going to be, should we charge more for dues? And I was checking everything out. Finally, I'm looking through this magazine. It was the AFTRA magazine, which was basically a glossy magazine in color. Okay, came out 4 times a year, and
Right.
all it was a series of people in the union shaking hands with other people in the union.
Right.
Right? You remember that? You probably got them.
I still get it.
You get the SAG-AFTRA one, right?
Right.
So
Well, if AFTRA had merged with SAG, I believe AFTRA would have went under.
I don't know if we would have gone under. No, I think we'd still be around. I just don't. Who knows? The trouble was, the reason the two unions merged, as SAG, folks, Screen Actors Guild, AFTRA is American Federation of Television Radio Artists. Okay.
Right.
And the reason I think they were perfect for merging is because so many times you would do a TV show, a live TV show, and you'd have to be AFTRA. And then you would do a film TV show, and you'd have to be SAG. And
Right.
they were always, so to put them together as one union, I think did make sense.
Right.
Okay. But
All I know is my dues went up.
all I know is I lost my insurance. But anyway,
Right.
so I go to this meeting, and I'm looking through this thing, and I'm going, oh my God. I put my hand up, and they said, yes. I said, I have a question. I'm holding in my hand the AFTRA magazine. How much does each issue cost you to put out? And they said, well, per quarter, it costs about $10,000. I said, okay, so that's $40,000 a year. How much money are you going to make per year raising people's dues by $2? And they said, blah, 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 blah. I said, why didn't you just stop making the goddamn magazine? It doesn't do anybody any good.
Right.
And they told me to sit down.
I bet they did.
My idea was, do away with the magazine. There, we've covered that cost. You're saying that the union is losing so much money a year? Well, how much was it losing? Well, it's losing about $30,000 a year. Well, here's $40,000 you don't have to put out.
Right.
Eh,
Right.
I was told to sit down. Shut up.
I bet you were.
Yeah. So anyway, that's life with the union, folks. But those residual checks are nice.
I've never done a non-union shoot,
Well, even with Corman?
even with Corman.
Even with Corman.
The actors were union.
Yeah. Yeah.
The actors were union.
Right.
Everybody else was like an intern.
Right. Okay. Well, anyway, hey, look, I just looked, and we're running out of time here. Any gigs to plug?
I wish.
I'll be at Lowe's on Thursday,
Actually, I will from 7 to 12.
7 to 12. Which Lowe's is that in? Is it in Worcester?
Worcester
Worcester.
at Lincoln Plaza.
Okay, so if you're up there, drop by and do 5 minutes with him, paying your checkout money or whatever.
Right.
And I'll see you next week.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, there he is. That's Stephen Kravitz. Thanks, Stephen. Bye.
Thanks, Alex.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 8th year of talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, and that's Steve Kravitz as always. And now it's time for you to call. And I only have one person waiting, and it's our old friend Jeff Stein. We'll get to him in a second. But you know what it is I may not do a show on Thursday anymore. Why? Every Thursday it's like this. Nobody calls. So I don't know. You know, I was looking at the numbers again from last night. A couple hundred people, right? I looked at Marjorie and I on Facebook. Over 1,000. At 1,010, I think now. So I'm saying, what am I doing this for? What is the reason behind this? I don't know what the problem is, But anyway, we ask you to call us, and you do that by going over to gabnet.net, and over on the right hand side of the page, there's a thing that says Zoom. You just can see Zoom there. Just click on that, and that'll take you using Zoom to our panel, which is just started to form, much like crust on yeast or something. I don't know. Anyway, hello. How are you? There's Jeff, and there's Alan.
Hello. How are you?
Yeah.
I just finished a Zoom meeting, CDC Zoom meeting, and got some updates on COVID. But I'll wait till more people come on.
There won't be more people. You better tell us now before I decide to call this whole thing off.
So the CDC and FDA approved the bivalent, the one that's got the COVID shot. It's got the BA4 and BA5 and the old one mixed in, and it should start going into arms in 3 or 4 days, probably.
Yeah, this is just the COVID shot, because I got my flu shot yesterday. Yeah.
Yep, you got what?
My flu shot.
Oh yeah, that's. They're expecting a real bad flu season too. Apparently, it was one of the worst in 20 years in Australia, and so the southern hemisphere is how we rate. How to get our mix of what we expect here. Mm-hmm. And part of the last 2 years, there was none because people were wearing masks, and guess what? Nobody's wearing masks. They expect it to get bad, so everybody get your flu shot.
Well, people were wearing masks because of COVID, but as a side effect, they weren't getting the regular yearly flu either.
Yep, you're absolutely right.
People go, I don't want to have to wear a mask, and I'm going, in every other country that I know of, like China and some places in Europe, when you're sick, you put a mask on.
Absolutely.
And when it's flu season, everybody wears a mask.
So here's a couple interesting statistics. In the U.S., 70%.
Really?
According to the CDC today.
70% are not boosted.
Right. Not boosted.
But
yeah.
how many have the shot, the initial shots?
Yeah, I don't have that in front of me.
And how effective are those initial shots?
Well, they saved a lot of lives, as we both know.
Yeah, I'm saying I got those. I got it. What, a year ago? 2 years ago? How long ago did we get them?
Yeah, in January of 2021.
Yeah, so it's a year and a half ago, and then
you got 4 boosters, and the boosters.
Two boosters.
Sorry, right, 4 shots total. But you got the 2 boosters didn't stop you from getting sick, you and your wife, but what it did probably stop you from doing is being hospitalized, ventilated, and dying.
Well, no, it didn't prevent me from getting it, but I got such a light case that it was I didn't. Well, the thing was, in all deference to it, we did get a hold of our doctor on that Monday before I really showed any signs, and he gave us the Paxlovid, and I never got anything. You know,
Right.
I
Okay,
was
good.
fine.
So yeah, 70% of people in this country are not vaccinated. We have the highest number of deaths and everything. We all know that. Here's a grim statistic on people that died from COVID. Since the start of the pandemic, 1 in 306 Americans died of COVID,
Really,
according to the meeting today that I was on with the CDC.
one out of how many?
306 Americans.
Really, and it's
Yeah,
also
and we're also because of the anti-vaxxers and the anti-maskers, we won't be able to control. We'll never be able to fully control COVID. Our grandchildren will be getting COVID shots.
Thank you very much, Republicans.
Yep, no shit, huh?
Well, I don't know if it's just Republicans. I'm sure there are some like
There's a lot of anti-vaxxers that are not Republicans, so
yeah,
they're called idiots.
easily. Hello, Charlene. How are you?
Charlene.
Oh boy, I'm falling apart, Alex.
What do you mean you're falling apart? How are you falling apart?
Oh God, I'm getting old. It's awful.
Well, that's not no. Well, I mean, come on.
I've got everything now. Like my neck now, I need like shots in my neck because there's a bit. Then they made me get an angioplasty, and I was really mad. Like I don't understand. Like, thank God it wasn't 70% blocked or something. They were talking about we're going to put a stent in while we're in there, and I'm like, Jesus, I know I'm old. I'm like, but am I that old?
Wait a
that
minute.
I have,
Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
stents?
How old are you?
Oh God, I know you guys outed me here once, so I might as well just say it. But I can't believe I'm going to be 65 next year.
Oh, gee.
And I have to go on Medicare and all that.
No, boy,
I never thought-
you're an old fart.
I know. I mean, I never thought I'd live this long. You know, it was too much The Who. You know, hope I die before I get old. And, you know,
Yeah.
I never thought I would make it this long, I guess, either. I didn't care. But now that I'm here, I don't want to die. But it's terrible. Now, you know, like the arthritis has got me. It's so humid.
Well,
My bones.
speaking of
kill-
arthritis, yesterday I went and got a shot in my hand for my arthritis. The only part of my body that's arthritic is right there, but prevents me from writing and doing things like
But
that.
I've got a lot of trouble in my hands lately.
Yeah.
They're killing me. I can't move. Things fall out of my hand.
Well,
It's not fun.
you're just
I'll
getting
say
you're just getting to be an old broad. Okay.
I'll send you
Yep.
some more hot sauce. That'll fix everything.
Yeah, you just pour that on there on the arthritis. Hello, Ray. How are you?
Good. How's it going?
Good. And we've been
Good, good.
joined tonight by Phil.
Hey.
I heard you talking, so I figured I'd take up a square.
Yeah, why not?
I like the gay colors behind you on San Francisco City Hall. Very nice.
Yeah,
that-
that was a night shot, long exposure.
Yeah, but what was the event that made them do it in all those colors? Something gay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
That's
for Pride one year, I think they did it, or several years.
Yeah,
That's a good picture.
Thanks. Yeah, well, get out of the way. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that.
I didn't know that iPhones did long shots like that.
it wasn't an iPhone, but
I know.
It could have been.
Nowadays, yeah.
Nowadays, it's amazing the stuff you can do with an iPhone. You know, I mean, the picture in back of me was shot with an iPhone.
Really.
are they shooting porn now with iPhones?
I'm sure.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I do.
Nice.
Yeah, Alex, speaking of porn, I don't know if it was Netflix. I think it was. I just put I agree with you. Netflix is not worth what I'm paying for it. I don't really like the platform or something. But I found a documentary about Times Square back when it was really like dirty and filthy.
Oh,
and
I loved it back
shows
then. I loved it back then.
That's what they were saying in this thing. That was the best time for Times Square.
Well, no,
Okay.
the reason was is that it was it's just rife with porn, and with hookers, and with just every. And what it was the repository of all of America's sins.
How about
And
pickpocketing?
I loved it. I
crime?
loved it. What? There wasn't
How
a lot
about
of
the pickpockets?
There wasn't a lot of
and the crime?
pickpocket. There wasn't a lot of pickpocketing down there in crime.
Times Square?
No.
Times Square.
No, you
Really?
well, you went down there. I went down there any number of times, and I never got
Maybe
pickpocketed.
You didn't get it, but I mean, it was a.
Oh, I mean, if they went after tourists, fine with me. You know, I
that's
often
okay.
here in New York. I also said in San Francisco as well, because San Francisco is a big tourist town. Is that the tourists are really the bane of our existence? This is our city. Don't come to it, okay? And if you do, we're going to spit on you. And then
You know,
everybody
San
should spit on
Francisco-
tourists.
San Francisco and a lot of the tourist stop locations depend on that for their economy.
Well,
The
if we
pickpocket.
San Francisco didn't depend upon that. Its economy is far more than that. Right now, it's probably more technology companies. and
Yeah,
things
but
like
in
that.
1980, it was tourism was a big part of it. You know, right now nobody is visiting anywhere because of COVID. You know, you can't. You get on a plane and
No, I got to tell you something.
canceled.
My friend Shecky,
Yeah.
you know, he travels all the time, right? He goes to Europe, he takes a boat trip, he does this, he does that.
Good for him.
Well, he was supposed to go to California, and he just decided at the last minute, I'm not going. I don't want to get on a plane. I don't want to have to wait in line. I don't want to have to do this. It's just not worth it to him. And he was supposed to do a trip. It was an $18,000 flight to Singapore. Okay, you know what I'm talking about, right, Jeff? Because you heard him on a Monday show, and he just canceled that. He was going to take a boat ride out of Singapore through Vietnam and places like that.
Wow.
That was included in the $18,000.
No, it wasn't. No,
That was just a plane.
Yeah.
ticket.
that was the flight. That was for
Oh
he
my
wanted.
God.
Well, he wanted the best seat he could get. Okay, he wanted first class, and this was on a Christmas week. Okay,
Wow.
Ouch.
and so it was $18,000. Now, admittedly, Shecky has it, okay, and he doesn't have any kids, and he doesn't have a wife to support, you know, and quite frankly, he doesn't go out that much. It doesn't have a big fancy car. He has his mother's car, which is 25 years old now.
With a broken door handle.
Yeah, you broke, Alex.
Broken door handle, thanks to me. And but I came up with a solution on how to open the door. Roll down the window and pull on the handle outside. Anyway,
But New York, I think you just break the window.
well, yeah. But anyway, so I, you know, so he was the most inveterate traveler I knew, and now he's going, I don't even want to get on a plane.
I don't.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would never want to go to Vietnam.
Yeah, they claim the
no.
air in the plane is really good.
Well, I
Unless you're sitting within 6 feet of somebody that's coughing and sneezing because they're not wearing
I have a
masks.
friend that just got back from Vietnam, and he showed me pictures. It's clean. It's organized. It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous. It's really gorgeous. Ever since we got out of there,
Yeah.
you know, we had a
Nah.
we had a tendency to fuck that country up. You know,
I would like to go. You know,
Yeah.
especially once COVID.
and
is
they're
over.
one of our best trading partners now,
Once
and
COVID
we have a
is
very
over.
good relationship with them. You know,
Yeah.
so
Bill's
what?
statement, I'd like to go there once COVID is over.
Yeah.
Well, I would be traveling. I mean, I was supposed to go to a convention in Nashville a week or two ago, and I didn't go. I didn't
you
want to
didn't?
be with 2,000 people in an auditorium. I didn't want to. They were canceling plane flights left and right, and you were having all sorts of problems. You know, if I had to make a connection, the next thing gets canceled. I'm standing there in
Oh,
Cleveland. or something.
you can have a flight all set, and you get down to the airport, and they've canceled it. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
or
horrible.
midway through.
What?
Midway through, you know, if you have to make a connection, all of a sudden the flight time's out, or they didn't have a pilot or a certain crew, or there's a mechanical issue. They were canceling hundreds and hundreds of flights, and I just said, I don't want to get involved in that chazarai. And then on top of that, I didn't have anybody to cover me at the store, but I really didn't want to end up getting COVID. Or,
Well, we're on a fixed income now, but if I want to take a good solid vacation somewhere, take it somewhere. I've got the money to do it with. But then Marjorie says, "Well, let's go somewhere," and I go, "Where?" And then she starts to think, "Well, we can't go to California because we don't want to get on the plane to go to California, and we would love to go to Europe and hang out for a month or so. Why not?
Me too.
Right?
Yeah.
But you can't. You're
Yeah,
not gonna
see
take
a
a chance.
play, go to London.
Everybody I know who has taken a trip to Europe in the last year has come back with COVID.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Nobody's wearing masks on planes anymore, and everybody's getting sick.
Actually, you're probably better not wearing a mask on a plane than not wearing a mask in a restaurant, because the planes do recirculate the air very frequently and heavily now.
Yeah.
Much-
Well, what about walking through the airport?
Well, just all of it,
It's a mess. You didn't hear the latest thing that you were coming on the show, Phil, that the CDC says we're at a point of no return. Your grandchildren and great-grandchildren are going to be getting COVID shots.
They're never going to see the light of day because
And you know why?
the
You know why?
taxes and the all the things that are being put into place. Our children won't have a life.
And you know why?
What the hell was that?
And Alex said this. You know why? All the anti-mask, all the anti-vax people have guaranteed that we'll never be able to control COVID.
Didn't the CDC just say that that woman Weslinski or whatever her name is, say that the masking and the closing down of the schools and all of this stuff really didn't make a difference?
No. Michelle Walensky, she's the head of the CDC.
Yeah.
Well, if everybody went out and got the shots, I think
Yeah.
we'd be in good shape.
Yeah.
Okay,
Even
period.
all my Republican friends have shots.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a Republican or Democratic issue. I do think it is crazy people versus non-crazy people.
So the polio thing, just real quick. I'm sorry. The anti-vax movement is not just Republicans, but why? Where did the couple cases of polio come up with? Pennsylvania.
Jews.
I think
Jews in Orange County.
I think we have one
We have one in New
case
York,
out here.
Yeah, Orange County,
Yeah,
New York,
so
Spring Valley,
apparently,
that area.
Apparently, 60% of the people are vaccinated for polio in that county, and the other 40% aren't. And so that becomes an opportunistic disease to start spreading again.
Dave Garraway used to tell the story about how he was getting ready to go to a testimonial dinner for Dr. Who did polio. Salk.
Kevorkian, I think.
And also, let's not forget Sabin.
Salk.
Sabin made it more available to everybody through the sugar cube. But anyway, Salk came up with the polio vaccine, and he was going to a testimonial dinner, and he was dressed in a tuxedo, and Garraway's little kid said, "Where are you going?" He says, "Well, I'm going to a testimonial dinner. I'm going to speak there." And he said, "For who?" And he said, "For Dr. Jonas Salk." And he said, "Who's he?" And he said, "Well, he's the guy who discovered the cure for polio."
Right.
And his son looked at him and went, "What's polio?"
Wow.
And that's the testimonial right there. I mean, for years, I don't think there was a case of polio on planet Earth. If it was in some remote jungle somewhere.
Now, what was the vaccine? Was it penicillin?
No.
What was
it was-
penicillin
it was-
discovered?
Penicillin's an
Green mold.
antibiotic.
It
Yeah, I
comes
know,
from
but,
Yeah.
it comes from mold, and it's just.
I know, but they didn't use that one for polio.
No, they had a polio vaccine, Phil.
Yeah.
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 Polio is a virus. You can't use penicillin.
Yeah.
Penicillin
That's
for
what
a
they told
virus.
me Kaiser all the time.
Yeah, Jeff.
Yeah, I was going to say, I remember when I was the first person to actually get injected, and
On Earth?
we got stuck, and nobody really told us what the heck was going on. I'm like in third grade or something like that in school, and they said, "All right, everybody come downstairs."
Well,
You remember the
I didn't
kids
have
that-
I didn't have the vaccine. I had the sugar cube.
Yeah.
That
You
was a
remember the
Sabin.
kids that had these injections on their forearm or their arm, and it was like a round thing. And
Smallpox.
I have that.
That's
Yeah.
smallpox.
I have that.
I have one.
I have one
I
too.
don't know.
I have one on my arm right here.
Yeah. Smallpox.
They would scrape you with the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It was like a forked needle that goes right under the skin and they inject your vaccine. That way.
If they did that to me, it must have healed up, and I can't see it.
No,
They had to have done it to you because that's the way they did it.
Yeah,
I know.
they did it to everybody, just about everybody, unless your parents were anti-vax.
No, I remember, getting stuff. I was born in
Charlene?
54.
Alex, I saw that thing on PBS or something about polio. And did I hear them correctly and say that he killed people by injecting them with the live virus at first or something?
Some people did die from the Salk vaccine. That's why
And
when the Sabin, my parents didn't give me the vaccine at that time, and of course every parent wanted their kid to have some protection against polio because
Even though it had killed a few kids.
polio was this scourge, okay, that every parent worried about, and yet a lot of parents didn't want to do it because the Salk did have a few deaths as a result of it. Meanwhile, Sabin comes along, and he comes along with the Sabin vaccine, which is applied to a sugar cube, and kids just eat a sugar cube, and they're protected. And that really put it all over the top, and that's what I got. I remember lining up for it. It came on, the little sugar cube was a little blue dot of whatever the stuff was on
But the
sugar
COVID
cube.
shot didn't even kill anybody, and people don't want to get it. That makes no sense. I don't
Yeah, but it
understand
has a
that.
tracking device in it, and I think that's kind of dangerous.
That's right. If you listen to Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill Gates.
Alan used to be good looking before he got the COVID shot. Now look what it did to him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I know one lady who is probably maybe the most 5 years older than me. And
Wow, that old, huh?
And she got it even though she had taken the original injection.
My wife's aunt had polio.
And she still has, but she only had like minimum polio, whatever the heck.
Well,
that
polio-
is.
She had one shorter leg than the other.
Yes.
Polio
Yeah,
was
she,
terrible.
she walked.
I had a
Polio.
friend
Well, wait a
in
minute.
the
Polio.
70s that had it.
Yeah, polio was particularly terrible because it had a tendency to hit children more than anybody else. It did
Yeah,
hit
she got it
some
when she was a
adults.
kid.
Some adults got it, like Franklin Delano Roosevelt, as an example. But basically, it was something that children got, and we didn't know what caused it. Nobody knew what caused it. I remember my mother would say, "Don't go over there. That looks like that. There's some polio water over there." They thought it was like in the
Yeah,
water.
in the
They
water.
thought it was having a wet bathing suit on or
do you know
something.
what-
Well, it did get passed in the swimming pools, didn't it?
No. Here
Oh, that's
is-
a myth?
Okay, you want to know
It's a
why we
myth.
got all of a sudden here we're going for years and years, no polio, and all of a sudden there's polio. What happened to cause polio to exist?
Too much
It's a
vegetable.
great book
Came
I
in
read on this.
unvaccinated from other countries.
No, It's not. It's the last thing you would ever think of.
I think didn't they say it was like people were too clean almost?
That's
Or-
correct, Tony.
I remember
Tony,
reading that.
Tony got the answer.
Wow.
We
Yeah, I remember
became
reading
that.
we as a society once we started cleaning up the streets of horse shit,
Yeah.
and we started cleaning up this and cleaning up that. And we became a much more sterile society.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
kids that were being born weren't born with protection against polio because
Now do you-
before they had enough antibodies that were created by all the filth out there, and we became too clean, and that's
Now
the
these
reason.
mothers- These mothers today, you see them with their kids. They're wiping their hands, and they're, don't do this, and here, put the sanitizer on. We're going to end
Yeah.
up having a problem.
You know what I was gonna tell you? My mother's old doctor, Dr. Rubin. He works in Mount Sinai. He's about maybe your age, maybe a little younger. He's in his early 70s. You know what he told me once when I used to take him to the doctor? We were talking about that once because I was
To the
having a
point.
conversation. But he said, what he always recommends is go in the yard, play, yell in the dirt. He always says it's good for kids to get dirty.
Yeah, I knew
It
somebody
builds
that
up
used to say
builds
that.
up your immune system.
Yeah.
He
You
tells
have
that to
enough
his
dirt as a
grandchildren, to his
child.
daughter.
Well, we
You had
became
to have a lot of dirt as a child, she used to say, or something.
we became too clean And that made it opportunistic for polio to come around.
Wow.
You know, so that was what caused it. That's why we suddenly had this surge of it, and why kids were getting it, because the kids weren't being protected now. They weren't getting all the dirt and the mud and the horse shit. And you know, if you walk through a city like New York back in the 20s, it was filthy. You know, because what was a major form of transportation? Horses, and horses poop.
Yeah.
Okay,
And all that methane caused global warming.
No, what happened was
The ice caps.
the horse shit literally was about 5 feet high on every corner, on every street.
Well, the garbage is now in New York.
Yeah.
They always
Yeah.
have a streak.
They were setting it on fire.
Why don't they use garbage cans in New York?
What?
Why don't they have garbage cans on the street in New York instead of just making piles
They're
of
in
it?
all the
The people
Republican
steal 'em.
kitchens.
No,
They steal 'em.
we have garbage cans. You
Yeah, we
kidding?
got cans. Remember we started.
No,
with
in
cans?
Manhattan they pile the garbage in like on the street, and then
Just
they
the
pick up-
plastic. He means like, yeah.
No,
Just the black
garbage.
plastic.
I'm joking.
Piles of garbage in bags, not in cans. Like
Only in Tony's
Oh, in bags.
neighborhood.
Everybody every night or every day or every night puts out bags of garbage so the people who pick up the garbage have something to pick up.
Okay, it's just like, but here there's always big giant cans you put them in, so it doesn't smell like
Well,
horrible.
no, the bags don't smell. The bags are put out.
Maybe
every
you're
night.
used to it.
They shit inside the
but
bags.
The
now.
bags
Every time
are,
I go to New York, it
Hold on.
stinks there.
Alex,
Well, you must smell something
I
I
have a
don't.
garbage bag story like that. I hadn't been in New York in a while, and I went to like a reunion for this club.
Mhm.
And me and my old friend from the club were walking down the street at like 1 o'clock in the morning in New York, and a big fat rat as big as a cat came out of those black garbage bags Ray's talking about. And we weren't even phased, you know, because we had lived in New York so long. We were like, oh, wow, it's a rat. Like, hello. We were like, hi, rat, you know.
Well,
It,
the most
it was wearing one of those red MAGA hats.
well, the most famous rat in New York is the rat that they videoed
Oh,
trying to
yeah.
carry a piece of pizza
The
up the
pizza,
stairs
yeah,
in
the
the
subway.
subway.
That's
Last
what
time I
used
was
to-
in New York, there was a guy with a handful of nickels, and when the doors would shut, about to shut, there was rats would running by, and there was one run by with a sandwich, and he started throwing nickels at the rat. And he hit him.
How long ago was this? I mean, we're pretty.
About 5 years ago.
Pretty
I think
clean,
when I went to
Nickels,
see you.
yeah.
I'll tell you,
When I
we
went-
have right now. We probably have the cleanest subways we've
Yeah,
ever
they're pretty
had.
good.
The reason is because COVID. They went in. They made sure they closed down the subways every night from
Subway.
1 until 5, and went in and cleaned every seat with disinfectant and sprayed down the. It was they were beautiful, just beautiful.
Don't they
And
seal the tunnels at night and use like cyanide to kill everything?
no.
They kill the homeless that are sleeping down there. They can't.
Well, they
accept
kicked all the.
sidewalk.
What happened was they kicked out all the homeless. They said you can't be down here after 1 o'clock in the morning because what we're going to be doing down here, you know, could kill you. You know. So.
Yeah.
But
Ship them to Walnut Creek.
yeah.
Do
But
you
all,
feel safe in New York now? You
yeah.
feel safe when you
Boy,
walk
you are
around?
down on New York, aren't you?
No, it's just that they've got some problems.
Not
We got problems. We can-
highly overstated.
I saw that the crime is up like 40%.
No,
Oh, come on.
no,
What?
no. In fact, crime is down in New York
You
compared
got
to everywhere
confused with
else.
Florida.
Crime has gone up higher in San Francisco than it has in New York City. New York,
because Alan lives there.
you know, New York City has had an increase in gun
He's got my
violence
wallet.
lately. See, I told Marjorie, I said, wait, I said, there's going to be a lot of violence in this town. And she said, why? And I said, COVID. Because everybody is so locked up that once they're no longer locked up, they're going to go crazy. It's going to be like the Red Hour. Remember Star Trek, the Red Hour?
Sure,
You
sure.
know, where everybody feels all of a sudden they can go crazy, you know. And
Or like the purge or something.
yeah,
That.
you can just go crazy.
They're finding that people played in the dirt and stuff as kids.
Mhm.
Charlene, that those people have sore hands a lot more in older age.
Really?
I get an injection like Alex does, in my hand.
Well, I'm gonna need and I got to get the carpal tunnel fixed on the left hand.
Yeah, well,
I have carpal tunnel in my right hand.
my doctor
I get
told
injections all the time with cortisone. It's the best stuff in the world.
I know, but he told me, my doctor, that the more I get it, the less effective it's going to be.
That's not true.
My doctor told me that too.
Yeah, but
He said after like 5 or 6.
it's better today than it's been in months. You know,
Right.
so. I told him,
He's
look, I
separated out.
said, if you don't mind, I'm just going to keep getting the cortisone shots. I don't want you operating on me.
That's right.
You know,
I've
Get
never
cortisone shots every
like
6
that.
months in my wrist for 5 years, and it works as long as it's not too many shots in 1 year. My doctor will do 3 a year.
oh, really?
They regulate that, don't they, heavily?
No.
Because they're
No.
so afraid that
No,
they'll
but
the
they probably
steroid.
should. No,
My doctor said he could do more than 3 a year.
Okay.
And he's a big sports medicine guy. He's pretty
I
well
would trust
known.
him then.
Yeah.
He's probably
Yeah.
board certified. in
And he's a
sports
hand
medicine.
specialist. I go to they have the sports medicine place I go to, and they have a hand specialist, they have a foot specialist, they have a knee specialist.
And
Crazy.
specialist? Is that a happy ending?
Yeah, but you know, I mean, I don't
Only
know,
from
I don't know
you.
how I got arthritis just right here, but he said it's very common
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
Use the
I think
Theraputty.
it's from this. You know?
Yeah, use the Theraputty. The Theraputty will help.
Boy,
Really?
Ray just loves playing with his video.
Well, you know, we all have nicer backgrounds than Tony. I
I
mean,
got my mother's
Ray-
wallpaper. I'm gonna
Right.
read
You
it
need to
through.
get more light on your wallpaper, Tony.
I'm sorry.
yeah. What do they have?
I'll
brown-
send you a light bulb, Tony.
What do you want for breakfast? I got eggs. I got pancakes.
Well, let me see here. What can I get here?
Alan, you're missing your background.
Everybody's in my
I'll
house.
stop playing around.
let's see.
Yeah, we need all Tony.
What do you guys want to
background.
watch on TV later? I got a ton of movies.
Ray's got the one that has the skeleton corpse.
Yeah,
right?
but I always
My
feel
mother-
bad
my
when I
mother
put
probably
that. I feel bad when I put that one. so-
It's all right, Ray. I kind of like it. I really
Okay,
do.
all right, I'll do it. Okay, all right.
I'm not-
Isn't
I'm
that
actually
skeleton Mitch McConnell?
That scene is the one that got me when I was like 6 years old, and my
Not
parents,
insulting,
like
right?
idiots, let me watch that
You can
movie.
laugh at my mother.
When that thing turned around and I saw that thing, I didn't sleep for like 5 years after that. And
Yeah.
anytime I went in the shower for most of my young life, I would be looking to see if somebody was coming through there to kill me
You
in the
didn't have
shower.
any older brothers that dropped a skeleton in the shower with you
No, no. it was
just to give you
me.
a heart attack?
Oh, I'll never forget that. I slept on the couch downstairs for a long
Good job,
time.
Ray.
After my two parents let me watch that when I was like 6
Yeah.
years old or
Oh
something.
my God.
Yeah, that was that movie scarred me for life.
They didn't like you.
That's kind of young to watch that. I've
They
been
were
watching
just really
Bob.
stupid. I guess they didn't think it scare me that much. My father was weird. He liked Boris Karloff films, and he would bang on the wall behind me and tell me like the guy, was coming to get me.
Oh,
He
That
was terrible.
uh,
Shouldn't have scared me like that.
It was Night of the Living Dead.
Right.
Oh God, I remember that movie too. Oh, that was horrible.
Barbara,
I was
they're
young
coming
when
to
I saw
get you.
that.
You know what scared me still to this day? Rosemary's Baby, the ending of that movie. Oh, that was creepy.
Yeah.
That was a
I watch
creepy.
that
It was
all
a
the
great
time.
movie. It was
I
that
thought
old
Trump
guy.
was Rosemary's Baby.
No, it might have. You don't see the kid, but the way they
Lord
were
Allen.
acting, it's such a fantastic movie.
Yeah,
Mo-
yeah.
it's a long
No, that
time
is a
since I saw
classic.
it.
Yeah, I love that
Yeah,
movie.
it's really good.
Yeah. It's like The Exorcist. I
Well,
like
I
that
could-
movie too.
What is
Uh,
like The Exorcist?
Huh?
I didn't think it was. I thought The Exorcist was.
You like the actress?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Linda
Oh, there
Blair.
you go.
She's a friend of yours, yeah.
yeah. She became kind of a friend. Yeah.
You didn't like pea soup very much, huh?
No. I never
Tell
met
a Linda
and
Blair
all the-
story.
All the time I've known her, one way or another. I've never mentioned pea soup to her. Okay.
One way or another. That's cute.
Yeah, see that.
Yeah.
Wow, I like
Don't
that one.
incriminate yourself.
Well, no, I mean,
Now you look so good.
we actually went out once, and we then have talked to each other on the phone over the years, and I think the world of her. She's
I
terrific.
like the way she talked to the priests in it, you know?
Oh, your mother sucks cock.
Oh yeah.
Your mother sucks cock and
In
you know,
hell.
that was
Your
such
mother
a
sucks
good-
cock in hell.
We were Catholic schoolgirls, and the nuns told us, "Don't read The Exorcist." Don't get that
Exorcist.
book and don't read
Exorcist.
The
The
Exorcist.
Exorcist?
That's the way she said it, the nun.
The
So what did we do?
Exorcist.
We all
all
ran out and
said,
got a
"Let's
copy
get
of
it."
The Exorcist,
Yeah.
and we had to read
Of
it.
course, they've yet to read The Exorcist, but they read The Exorcist.
Oh, those nuns were whack jobs. I'm telling you, some of the crazy things they would tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
Oh,
dad,
You're reading it, and it's like your mother sucks cocks in hell, and we're like learning all because the nun told you
They
to
all
go
get
get it.
issued a ruler, a ruler when they became nuns.
Yeah,
you know?
no, they used to go around. All my friends who went to
Crack
Catholic
people
school
on the hands.
used
Yeah.
to talk about the nuns and how they used to beat them up and so on. And I'm going, then why are you going there? I mean, I'm a little kid. I don't understand.
Well, your
that.
parents
parents
would be
said you-
happy. My mother, I went home and told her that the nun like slapped me a little for smirking. My mother was like, "Oh, good for you. You must have deserved it," or something like that. It was terrible.
Wait, did you see this? I can't remember where it is. There's this one town where they made a corporal punishment legal now
Yeah.
for kids in school.
I had a principal in my grade school, in my elementary school, had a paddle on his wall, and if they sent you to the principal, there was a good chance he was going to paddle you.
my PE teacher had one of those paddles, and he with squares, and he put everybody's name on there, and that he'd hit with it.
Yeah.
Scared the shit out of us.
I'll tell you,
boys-
if I had a
Boys
kid,
and males had it
And that was a
bad.
public school.
if I had
Yeah,
a
they had it
kid,
bad. They
and-
were going
and-
to get paddled.
if I had a kid and any teacher spanked that kid, they'd have hell to pay. Right, Kevin?
Even way back in
Oh,
the
yeah.
olden days.
Yeah. Kevin? You wouldn't approve of that with any of your children, would you, if a teacher had done that?
What's that?
Spank your kid.
The teacher?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, hell no.
Well, they're going to allow it in this one
Usually the
school
principal did it,
district.
right?
What?
Oh, really?
Is that in Georgia or something?
Something? Not
Oh, they did it
Georgia.
in California. I mean, they did it when I was in grammar school, and then I went to junior high, and the same assistant principal, Dr.
Yeah, they did it when I was
Yeah.
growing up, too.
Yeah, me too.
Right, and I said, "You're not going to paddle me," and I took the paddle away from him and nailed him in the nuts, and that was the last time he.
I'll tell you, I went to
Catholic school.
I never had that happen in any school that I was ever in, grade schools
Really,
or
this is
whatever.
a public
No.
school for me.
I remember one kid in the music class, Tommy Hughes, the music teacher came up and hit him on the head with a book, and I mean hard, and the guy didn't. Mr. Haas, he didn't get fired either. What a piece of shit he was.
I told you about it. It was a Catholic school, and it was a lay teacher, and he put me up against the wall outside in the hallway.
Were you always a big kid?
Huh?
Were you always big? Or
Yeah, back then, no.
no? Hey,
Lifted me off my feet.
possible another topic. There's no water in Jackson, Mississippi, and they're saying that there's going to be other towns where they can't maintain the pressure and
Yeah, they have no drinking water or
no
something.
drinking, no bathing, no nothing.
If Trump was still president, that never would have happened.
That's true.
I know.
But,
he's making a joke.
I wasn't making a political statement. I was just this is it's interesting that this is happening. Plus to 30,000 residents on the around Jackson, Mississippi.
So
They
then,
need like potable water or something.
I-
They have nothing. They have
I
nothing.
understand this was something in the making, Phil, and the flood just pushed it over. I understand the water supply in Jackson, Mississippi, which unfortunately is all black, or mainly all black, folks, is what they're saying. And the water supply for the past 20 years has been horrible there.
Well,
Oh,
and one other thing,
one
when
other
it
area.
rains, it screwed up the rest of it.
one other thing that's happening, and this is happening in California, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people from California on this panel tonight. Wow, it's almost a California-centric panel. And they're saying that the heat wave is incredible out there. Are you up there? You're all in Northern California. Is it bad up there too?
Yeah.
There's a big variance in temperature. So like where I live near the bay, it's not too bad, but you can go, a half hour away and it's over 100.
Lodi is like
Like where I live The highest is going to be is 90, and today it was just 80s. But there's places near me that are over 100.
It was 99 here, and 25 miles away it was 110.
Yeah.
In Lodi.
Up at the pinnacle.
Well, when I worked
Concord here, I'll bet it was 100 in Walnut Creek.
No,
Super hot.
102. Walnut Creek was 102 today.
Lodi was over 100.
Yeah. Las
It's gonna be
Vegas
105 tomorrow when I'll be there.
now, what are do the temperatures ever go up that high in those
Yes.
areas that you
Yeah,
remember?
out in the Central Valley.
Because
yeah.
I remember when I worked in Sacramento in the summer, the heat
That
could
got
get to 100, 101.
Yeah.
You know what it was high in Monterey today? It was 68.
Yep.
Yeah, but Monterey's
Overcast.
right on the bay. It's right on the ocean, and it
It's
gets
a
those ocean
peninsula.
bridges. You know.
Yeah, but they're going to be hot this weekend. They'll hit 80 or 90 this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, it's been over 100 in Palo Alto many times. that I live here.
You know, the high in Las Vegas was 112 today.
Wow, that's hot.
You know what it was in Death Valley?
123 in Palm Springs.
I'll tell you,
really
it's
dry in
it's
Vegas,
hot
too.
it's hot in Vegas because when I've been to Vegas, I've gone. Actually, you really don't want to walk down the street because
I
it's like
tried.
102, 103. You know, yeah, but
Did
that's
they let you in Vegas, Tony?
Yeah, I went a few times for fights.
Oh, you told me about that before.
you didn't
Yeah.
have to go that far. You could have stayed here and found somebody.
I could have. Yeah, my brother treated
Yeah.
me. Alex, I tried going to the Game Works. It's an arcade. So my brother was with his girlfriend. He says, "This is you guys gamble." I didn't want to gamble. I wanted to go to the arcade. So I said, "I'm going to walk it." I said, "Right." I asked the guy, "How far down from the road?" He says, "Oh, you got a nice distance." The guy says, "I think you're going to want a cab." He says, "I can do this, right?" Alex, 2 blocks in, I'm sweating. I said, "You know what? I'm getting a cab." I
Hey,
said,
Tony, who got killed when you were walking down the street?
I was there when Tupac got shot. He died on a
Oh,
Sunday.
wow.
Yeah,
I was there that
Anywhere
weekend
near
also.
you? Anywhere near you?
No, in fact,
we were actually-
Tony was the one that killed Tupac. We
I
know.
came out of the hotel. My brother came out. It was fight weekend. It might have been De La Hoya fighting. So
And it was with Biggie, right? Wasn't he with Biggie?
No.
and we got out of the hotel. It was a Sunday. I remember
good.
watching
Or the
football.
Death Row Records guy? Is that the one?
Yeah,
who was-
and
Nope.
what happened? The guy's like, somebody got shot. So I went back to my room. I'm watching the Vegas news, and they say Tupac got shot. My brother's like, "Who the fuck is that?" I said, "That's the rapper guy." That was the East versus West thing. They were.
Right.
They never caught the killer, right?
No,
No,
they thought
they
the other
still
guy,
don't
Serge
know.
Knight, might have had something to do with it.
Suge Knight.
Yeah.
Suge Knight was in
Suge Knight,
in the
yeah.
driver's seat. He's in the driver's seat. I don't think he'd want to be close to his bullets going by him.
But they were saying how it's amazing how they took him out and he didn't have a scratch on him. I don't know what There was
Right. Right. Like the
Because
car.
the
was riddled with
bullets stopped in Tupac. Where else are they going to go?
But they think they might have. The rumor was that he was supposed to be. He wanted him on his label.
How
It
many
was all
times was
money.
he shot, Tony?
Who knows?
I don't know.
You know how many times you pulled the trigger?
I didn't know what the hell was
Well,
going
you know,
on. I came out, I
was
said,
it,
"What the
was
hell's
it
going on here?"
2 Pac or 3 Pac or 4 Pac?
Like 3 chains.
Monkey
and 4
pox.
chains.
Monkeypox.
Well,
I met. You know who I met out there, Alex? I met with the whatchamacallit, the HBO guys, Larry Merchant. They were doing a live remote right in front of the Mirage. So we
Which
get
fight was it?
what HBO guys?
I think it was De La Hoya was fighting. I forgot who was fighting.
It was De La Hoya. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's Larry. Who do you like? He's like the Golden Boy, and I think he lost. They thought he threw the fight because they came out of that closed circuit. They were throwing chances. What? I didn't get to see the fight because it was in a closed circuit. They said he was winning the fight, De La Hoya. Then the last 5 rounds, they said he didn't throw any
Speaking of
punches.
boxing, is
else?
anybody watching this show on Hulu called Mike?
No, I didn't see it. Is it good?
It's very good.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's
really
Tyson.
good. It's
Yeah.
well written, well acted. I mean, terrific. Just
It's about Mike Tyson?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to have to watch this.
Yeah.
He's no spring chicken anymore, is he?
He was tough out.
No, he's not. But
Yeah,
you remember?
kick your ass.
Do you remember when he was like a badass, and now everybody thinks he's really sweet? You know?
Nice guy.
When
right?
did that happen? What morning did I wake up and all of a sudden Mike Tyson was lovable?
He ran out of money.
Yes.
No, did you?
Yes, Brian.
Did you see him kicking the guy's ass on the plane like 6 months ago?
Yeah, that was great.
He didn't look like a pussy then.
Well, listen. In all deference to him, I would have done the same thing. The guy in back, the guy in back of him was trying to rile him. You know, and
Good
finally
job.
he had just had enough, and he just turned around and slugged the guy. And then the guy had this look on his face, like, I'm feeling really sad. Now I'm going to sue. You know, I mean,
That's why you shouldn't ride and coach.
You know something? Somebody asked him that. They said, "You got a lot of money. Why do you ride coach?" And he said, "Because I like to talk to people. So I like to mix with the people."
That's how he learns how to talk.
You know.
If you listen to some of his interviews lately, he is pretty much a pussycat. He's like so mellow.
Yeah, I mean, it must have taken a lot to rile him up on that plane flight.
It took an earlobe to rile him up. No.
He bit
I think the guy was sprinkling water over him too.
Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah.
The guy was
self-defense.
No, I think he just put up with enough that he could put up with, and then that was it. You know.
Throwing water on somebody, self-defense. Turn around and punch them and stop.
Yeah, but when you're on a plane, there's different rules. You know.
What do you mean there are different rules? There are different rules. This guy shouldn't have been annoying him.
Yeah, exactly.
But he could have moved his seat. He could have made the flight crew aware of what
I
was
would have
going
had
on.
him take him on.
Yes, of course.
You pussy, you would have turned around and hit the guy too.
But it's Mike Tyson. You gotta
that's why he shouldn't hit him, because it is Mike Tyson.
I know, I agree. He
What
could
do
have
you
moved
think?
or
He should
something.
have got in the chair with him and bit
I
his
don't
ear
know.
off?
I think he slapped, but he shouldn't have slapped him really.
Talk to him.
He shouldn't have hit him. He should have.
You
He
can't
should
hit him. I
have.
mean,
Just move the
like you know
seat.
you could hurt the guy. You just by his
He should have just puked on him.
Yeah, but it's only got about only three episodes? 4
How good
episodes are up? 4 episodes are up. Yeah.
Alex, did they show Customato in the ring yet with him? Like,
Customato's played by Harvey Keitel plays Customato.
Oh, okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm going to see this.
Yeah.
How's the casting? Does he fit the casting?
He fits. It's.
Because he doesn't look like him.
I'll tell you what really works is the writing is so good
I'm gonna watch that.
that it just flows. It just flows. It's really good. I
love the boxing, so I'll definitely
Who
watch.
plays Mike Tyson?
Some guy I never heard of him.
Yeah, I hate
A
that.
black
now.
guy. You know?
Yeah, some black guy.
Yeah.
I'm like that now. I get mad a little bit sometimes if I don't know who the hell, and you don't know who anybody is anymore. There's so many new people that come out all the time like that.
Yeah.
So, did everybody enjoy the last episode of Better Call Saul?
Don't tell me anything about it. You haven't watched it.
Screw you. If you haven't seen it yet, you know.
I don't have any.
It's about the show, man. We're gonna have to watch it on Netflix.
Oh,
They
no,
all
I'll leave.
I think I think the part where he died in that flaming car crash.
They all died.
I thought it was the dog
Hey, they
ripped
all
out his
died.
throat.
Don't worry. Nothing to see later.
Yeah, they all caught on fire.
Alex, that Tyson thing, is it like more than one season or like? Because
I
that
think
kills.
it's just one season. But I'm not sure. You know.
Yeah, how many episodes?
Where did
Like
Kevin
12?
go? Where did
or-
Kevin go?
He
yeah,
probably
okay.
muted.
Oh, there
You
he
didn't
is.
want to hear the Better Call Saul
Oh
story.
no, was that it? You didn't want to.
I don't want to hear it.
Oh, I wasn't going to. I wasn't.
They all
going
died.
Yeah.
I know they all died. I just don't
But
want.
Phil asked, "What'd you think of the last episode of Better Call Saul?" And in order to say how I felt about it, we would have to spoil it, right?
You can just say you
let's
liked
not
it or you
spoil it.
didn't like it.
I
So you
like.
do-
I liked it.
do you-
I thought it was perfect.
Do you subscribe to AMC? Do you subscribe or do you download it?
Do you think I would subscribe to AMC?
No, that's my problem. So I'm going to
Oh, it's on
download it.
Netflix,
Yeah,
Ray, if you
of
want to
course.
watch it.
I get AMC.
No, I've seen all the. I've seen 1 through 4. I
okay.
just haven't seen 5, which is on AMC. Right?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I have YouTube TV, and AMC is one of the channels.
Okay.
Hasn't that been everywhere though? Better Call Saul. Everybody's had it, right?
No, but it's only on Netflix 1 through 4, and if you want to see the latest,
Well,
season,
later.
Oh,
it is.
Yeah, I believe so.
Five, yeah.
I've been
There's
watching
only
it.
5 episodes. That's it.
Did they put season 6 on?
Oh, seasons, Charlie.
No, I
Oh.
meant season 6. I'm sorry. Season 6 is on AMC.
Oh, 6. Okay, there's another one. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna
Yeah,
miss
they'll
it.
probably put that up there later on this year.
Yeah,
I was like,
It's
there's
worth
no
seeing.
I'm
way.
just catching up. I went back and started the whole thing over.
It's
on
worth
regular
seeing.
Netflix?
Seasons- I was satisfied.
Yeah.
that,
Is
you
I was
know,
very
Is it
satisfied.
on regular
how many
Netflix?
times do you stick through a show and the last episode is just a piece of crap, you know? And they didn't rip you off on this one.
No, this one was really very well thought out. I thought the ending was perfect. I thought the ending to Breaking Bad was perfect.
Yeah, it was.
Can I see this on Netflix?
What?
Most of it.
No, you
can only see seasons 1 through 5 on Netflix.
They haven't put
Okay,
six.
well, if I like it enough,
Good. That means I got a whole new season to watch.
Well, they will put 6 up.
Yeah, that's what I'll
this
wait
year.
for.
Yeah.
Good.
good.
I thought I was
Yeah,
going to
have
5, so I
Netflix.
was kind of skipping a few days while I watched 5.
Yeah.
Now they said that there was going to be a new show that was going to be a combination of Bob, how do you pronounce it? Oberlink or
Odenkirk.
Odenkirk,
right.
and the guy who played the Chicken Man.
Yes.
What's his
Gus.
name? Yeah. So I guess they're gonna. They said that they were going to have a show.
No, they didn't say that at all.
I hope they open up a
They
chain of
they
chicken places, Los Hermanos
they said
Chicken.
that
That'd be great.
AMC is making a
Los
deal with
Hermanos.
both the guy who plays the chicken guy and Odenkirk for their own shows.
Yeah.
No, but not.
No, their own shows, not one with the two of them.
No.
They need to open a chain of chicken restaurants, Los Hermanos
Pollos.
Polio.
Pollos Hermanos. Los Pollos Hermanos.
Yeah.
Crazy chicken.
I'm surprised they didn't. You know.
Yeah.
They should. They'd probably go bang busters.
They got the
KFC
T-shirt.
at them. That's like Polo Loco.
Yeah, I think they have the T-shirt.
Yeah. But I mean, I thought I thought they did a very good job with Better Call Saul, and I think they ended it just at the right time.
Yeah.
Yes, Charlene.
From Odenkirk is from SNL or something, right? Like he was a writer.
He was
Yeah,
a
he was
writer.
a
He was a writer
That's-
for one, I think, a half a season.
Yeah, and now he's like that show and everything. And Breaking Bad made him like phenomenal now. That's how I know
Well, you
all
forget
that about
he did
SNL.
the what do you call it? Bob and who's the
Right.
other guy show?
I saw him on Seinfeld one night.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
And
But-
I enjoyed
and
that.
the place
Nobody.
the place I know him from is that my friend Bob Rubin had a girlfriend, and Odenkirk started going with her, and they're married and
Wow.
been married ever since. She's been his
That's
manager.
not the one that died in bed, huh?
No, it's not the one that died in bed.
And I liked him in Nobody. I thought that was a good movie.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Nobody. Yeah.
Wasn't he in some show on HBO for a long time?
You know, it's funny. I've never been crazy about Odenkirk. He did Better Call Saul. I like Better Call Saul. I like what he did with Better Call Saul. But I still am not crazy about Bob Odenkirk.
No.
It's
Yeah, me
strange.
either, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he did a good job on that. And okay, you had your big shot. See you later. The Bob and whatever show. I can't remember what it was called. Mr. Show. That was the
Mr.
name.
Show on HBO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did that, and he was quite well known for that. So, but he did okay. Did okay.
That's awfully quiet.
Any other spoilers?
Well, I think for Ray, just to
Yeah.
if we told you how MASH ends, would that be a spoiler for you?
No,
Oh,
I've seen MASH.
okay.
Who killed on
JR.
Who killed JR? Yeah.
Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you remember, it was all a dream.
Yeah, we found that out later.
Oh.
Yeah, that really.
Now it's spoiled for me.
I
didn't know.
I was never big into Dallas, but when I heard about that, I went, if you watch that show, right, and you've watched it now for 4 seasons, and then all of a sudden you find out that those 4 seasons were all a dream, don't you feel cheated?
Yeah.
I did. I was
was
pissed.
I still didn't know who killed JR. So
Yeah.
Now you know.
Now I know. You spoiled it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But what
Sorry.
is Kevin? What is the expiration date for spoilers? In other words, at what point can I say to you, okay, you didn't get around to watching it. Too bad. It's the expiration date is passed.
For me, it's probably about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
Maybe never.
Because I just want to know, people say, don't spoil it for me, and I'm going, that show went off the air 4 years ago. I mean, if you haven't seen it by now, I'm sorry,
Yeah, it took me probably, with Star Wars, I saw it in the $2 theater. So how long does it take to get to the $2 theater?
Well, how about the second?
Long
The second
time.
film had the
The only Star Wars I ever saw was a bootleg tape that Alex made for me, a VHS tape.
Those were in the days when you had a bootleg of it. It was very, very special.
All of a sudden, I started watching them all.
Yeah, it was special. It was very cool to have that.
Yeah.
That was the X-rated version, right?
No, it was. I don't know how you got it. It
Just
was
because
pretty
they
quality.
spelled Wars WHORES.
Yeah.
As a kid, I don't know if Charlene probably knows the Midway movie theater. Me and my cousin Kevin, we came out of watching Return to the Jedi.
You came out? Oh.
What happened was,
About time, right?
and the older kids were going in to see the later show. So they're giving us, there we go, you guys going to the early show. So we're about halfway down the block on Queens Boulevard. So I turn around and I say, by the way,
Boulevard.
Darth Vader is Luke's father. We gave the whole movie out.
Hey.
And they were fucking pissed.
I
Of
didn't.
course,
wanna
the
wait-
day was opening pretty much.
I didn't. I didn't want to wait in the line for Star Wars.
They were cursing us.
Down the street, I saw Hardware Wars. You remember that one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Hardware Wars.
The flying
I'll
toaster.
tell you a quick story. We were doing Midnight Blue,
Yeah.
and we decided to do this bit. I had passed by the theater where the Empire. What was the second film? Was it the Empire? Strikes Back?
That was probably the best.
Empire
one.
Strikes Back was the second film, and it was about to open up the next day, but it had all the signage up and everything, right? So I did this bit where I don't know if we did it on Midnight Blue or in one of the other shows I was doing on cable, but we went down and we shot the front of the theater, and we then went on the air and we said, listen. And this was the day of there was opening up.
Yeah.
We have a camera down near the theater. Let's go see how big the crowds are.
Yeah.
And then we show the
Nobody
shot.
was there, right?
And nobody there. And one person walks up to the box office and then turns around and walks away. And
It was the day before.
Yeah, it was the day before, and nobody's there. And I'm saying, gee, it must be terrible. The word must have gotten out of how terrible this sequel is.
Don't you remember people were camping out overnight?
That was a great movie.
Trying to, be the first in the theater. Or,
Yeah, yeah, but they weren't there the day before, so we shot it, and they had all the signage up and everything. So,
How
and they
come
were
there's no Gabnet merchandise? No hats? No.
Yeah.
There is, but you're just not allowed to buy it.
Fuck off.
because
We even got Gabnet fentanyl.
we actually don't have a logo.
We need to get a logo and T-shirts and hats and coffee cups and shit.
Yeah,
Patrick
and then
said
you know
he'd
what?
make
You know what'll happen? I'll be stuck with a whole bunch of T-shirts and
No,
caps.
no. Because what happens is you register it on SmugMug. They make the purchase. SmugMug takes 10%, and the rest of the money, less the cost of the item, goes to you. I have a friend that's a photographer. He's got this SmugMug thing. People buy mugs with their pictures on it. He takes like racing photos, and people buy all that shit.
I've got enough going for me here now. I mean, it's just
Patrick said
we've
that
got
he
too
was-
much business going on here for us to
Yeah, no,
survive.
I know.
You know.
Phil's volunteering.
Hey,
No,
listen.
Patrick said he'd do it.
Hey, Jeffrey. Good to have you here. Nice to
Thank
have you
you.
here. And also, Alan. Very nice to have you here. Charlene. Hey, you called us. Nice to see you again. Okay. Ray. Good to see you. Phil. Always terrific. And we didn't even talk politics tonight. No politics tonight. And there are a ton of people watching it. There are an amazing amount of people watching.
It's a Trump-free zone, except for Alan.
Yeah, yeah. Kevin, good to see you again. And listen, Better Call Saul. No, wait a minute. I won't.
Ah!
And Tony, good to see you. And of course, Brian, good seeing you. Why doesn't everybody wave goodbye? And I'll wave goodbye back at you, okay? There they go, folks. There they go. Oh, boy. That's fun. Anyway, that's our show for tonight. We'll be here again tomorrow night. There's no Jack again tonight, but we'll be putting. They just put up a plug or something for Zoom up here when I turned it off. Anyway, Jack will be back in a couple of weeks now, it looks like. Okay. Anyway, let me just say goodnight, everybody. See you tomorrow, same time, same station in life. In the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her, okay? Bye-bye, everybody.